Hello everyone, welcome to today's live stream here at OverTake, and you can see already in our welcome screen we have a guest today. It's not only Yannik, but it's also Max from Track Titan. So welcome here, Max, today. How are you?
Good to see you guys. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's a wonderful day here, and yeah, we have a big plan today. Improving our lap times, and first and foremost, learn the track. And yeah, this is also with your help, Max. So maybe introduce yourself, Max, quickly to the audience, as yeah, you have quite a history with racing games, in sim racing, but also real coaching, real driving. So give us a short summary of what you are doing and what you have been doing.
Yeah, sounds good. Like quick summary. I'm Max, the founder of Track Titan. Track Titan is kind of the foundation of OverTake Turbo, which we'll be using today. How did I get into this? Into kind of building a platform to coach sim racers. Was actually sim racing myself. So sim raced for ages. Then luckily kind of made the step from sim racing to real racing via GT Academy, which some of you may have heard of, or if you watched the Gran Turismo film. Didn't win the competition, but was a finalist in that. And that ultimately opened many doors in real world racing. And kind of fast forward to now, I still work as a coach for Porsche. So people want to learn how to race Porsches quickly on track in the real world and in the sim. Then I do that, and I always thought, hey, how do we make that more accessible? What if you can't afford kind of coaching in the real world and driving in Porsche? And that's why Track Titan exists, and that's why we're here today.
So can you also use Track Titan for real life data, or is it a sim racing dedicated product?
Not yet, but let's say there are things coming. Yeah,
Okay.
Some people can, but not everyone.
All right. Yeah, and then also Yannik. I don't want to run over you, so Yannik, also welcome.
Hi. 5 minutes later.
we just streamed our last Le Mans Ultimate Masters 2 days ago, so people still know you probably. Yeah, and also
so.
obviously welcome and hi to the chat. We already have Angel Slayer 43 being here, saying hello. Yeah, so some people might be aware that we partnered up with Track Titan a few months ago by now, and we kind of implemented yeah, very good like entry-level subscription to our Overtake Premium membership. And yeah, that is only, many people will already know that, it's €1 per month, basically, if you opt for the yearly subscription. So 12 euros, $12, I think, as well, per year, being Overtake Premium, and that also enables you to get into Track Titan, or we call the solution then Overtake Turbo, and it is basically yeah, the Track Titan application, but with Overtake colors and the Turbo logo on top of it. And yeah, maybe let's look maybe at the plan for today. Therefore, I will show you the track that we are driving on today, and that is the Lusail International Circuit in Qatar, in Le Mans Ultimate. The reason for it being the track is right now in the daily races. So it's right now in Hypercars, and I think the WEC experience kind of thing that they have. And it also will be the first track for the first driver swap event that will happen on 1st and 2nd of August. That will be a special event within LMU. And we will also take part, obviously, because we don't want to miss that. And we will have a team of up to 6 drivers tackling a 6-hour race then in Qatar. And therefore, it's also the newest addition, right, Yannik, to the roster of Le Mans Ultimate?
Yes, it is. Just arrived with the June update, finally completing the 2024 calendar. And yeah, as such, it's pretty much brand new. I think it's a summer of 2024 laser scan 2, so that's probably as close as you can get right now, which is, you know, always cool to have, in my opinion.
Yeah. And the track is not the favorite of many people, I would say. It's first and foremost, I was surprised to see that the track opened in 2004. That's more than 20 years. So
yeah, it's weird with a bunch of these tracks. Like yeah. Bahrain always strikes me like a new track to F1 as well, because it was new at one point when I was a kid. But that's been around for 21 years now already as well. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, Max, do you like the track?
I would say it's not the most obvious favorite. I'd say the first few laps when I first drove it were a bit like it's one of those neo tracks. Like you could say the same thing about Paul Ricard, but to be honest, once you get into a groove, you actually feel like it's quite technical and rewarding once you get it right, but extremely annoying if you don't. So it's, yeah, give and take. If you have a good day, it's a good one.
Yeah. I just drove it when we had the live stream also with Stephen Hood, the live Q&A with the Motorsport Games CEO. And the track was new to LMU then, so I had to drive it kinda, and it was the first time driving it in a GT3 or the LM GT3. I knew it kinda from the F1 games when I casually played the F1 games in the last couple of years, but yeah, then in the GT3 I felt the whole like pace was completely off. Like I didn't feel the flow in the car at all. I think this track is more laid out for high downforce cars, right? Looking at the layout as well.
It's definitely more fun in them. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I'd say in a GT car, I mean, these corners, if you look at the map, it's supposed to be like never ending corners. And in a high downforce car, you can kind of make it, but in a GT car, it's just painful. And the front tires just go and go, and then it's a vicious cycle from there.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Pretty much,
yeah, the actual lap record is by Lando Norris in 2024 in the McLaren 1:22.384. That's not close where we will get today because that's Formula One. But the hypercars aren't slow either. So this year, Antonio Giovinazzi in the Ferrari are, of course, managed to get a lower than 140. I think that was not the case the year before, but they managed now to get a 138.359. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the track. We can also quickly take a look at the track in the app. So let's switch over to Track Titan now. And I can show you guys already the application that we are talking about today, and yeah, where Max is involved with here. That's Track Titan, and in this case, OverTake Turbo, the application where you can manage your, where you can not manage, but you can see your sessions, your recorded sessions in the supported games. So Max Track Titan right now supports a lot of the sim racing titles, even titles like Gran Turismo, right?
Gran Turismo not yet, but Forza is kind of the
okay.
first big console one. But Gran Turismo is going to come later this year.
I see. But it's also ACC, iRacing, the original Assetto Corsa, they are all in there, right?
Yeah, even AC Evo were the only platform doing AC Evo, obviously a bit small right now, but yeah, we all hope it's going to come.
Yeah. And what would you say is the main feature of Track Titan? What's the main purpose really of the application?
The main purpose is to make you faster, and that sounds simple. But how do we do that, right? Like all these games and real life race cars produce a bunch of data, and I think you've had telemetry tools for decades in racing and in sim racing, but we realized amateurs never really understood them or didn't want to, right? They were built for engineers and pros, and what Track Titan does really is take the same data, but actually present that in a useful way that makes it super easy for beginners and pros alike to see where you're losing time, first of all, and then why you're losing that time. So that's what we're going to go through today.
Yeah, and to have the first bunch of data, we will do it like this now. We will have 3 splits of practice sessions. We'll start with a 15-minute practice just to get an overall feel for the track, to get familiar with the track layout. And then we will look into the data after 15 minutes. And then we will drive another 30 minutes to kind of focus on our weak sectors and weak corners and segments and stuff. And then we will do another 15 minutes and have also a little analysis in between. And Max will also watch at least my gameplay and will be live here with us to talk over the driving and give hopefully some helpful tips for braking, steering, and so on. And in the meanwhile, guys, in the chat, I see some people already watching here, 40 people already here. But no questions so far. Just Piotr telling us that it's really a track that is difficult to master. But if you guys have any questions for Max and about Track Titan and coaching in general, like also questions about coaching. Yeah, it's LMU today, Slowbri. Also coaching questions in general. Or maybe Max can tell us about his most hilarious coaching moments or something. we will figure out. I would say
feel free to ask questions also about, let's say, when we analyze these laps, right? Like we're going to make a generalist on the advice side to make that useful for all of you watching as well.
Yeah, and Yannik, I would say we create the practice session quickly. So I would suppose it's private, so we don't want the AI to be in there because it's about lap time. So we go, let me go in game actually. The music is making me sleepy right now. Okay, Lusail. We go Ferrari, I would say, to have a like similar car that we can also compare, kinda.
So not one that we're necessarily used to all that much, I don't think.
Exactly.
Right?
But
I mean, in the Masters, we're with different weapons, you could say.
yeah. Then we'll have a 15-minute practice, and I would say we go for the heavy preset for the grip. I think that's more close to the racing. Or Max, do you have a different take on that? Should we start with less grip or
Heavy grip is good.
heavy grip is
I
good?
think from a learning standpoint, effective.
All right. And then Yannick, I chose 3:30, the same time that we started the stream today.
All right.
And for the
Almost.
weather, yeah, almost. Yeah, for the weather, I would say click sunny. And then we can go light clouds, 22 all over. I think that should work.
Yeah.
Okay. And don't forget to hit this private session check mark.
Yeah, no, that's on already.
Okay,
That
private
would
practice.
be annoying otherwise.
And then turning all the other segments off, all the other qualifying and race off. Okay, and then let's jump in. Max, you can also see now, I just booted into the loading screen, and then you can tell me maybe with the delay that you have on stream.
Yeah, I'll get
Okay.
2-3 seconds.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Yeah, I saw this track there. We have the layout here again. The 50 or the 16 turns, and many of these have these like at the exit they have these like gravel pits kind of that slow
right
you
behind
down.
the curb,
Yeah,
yeah.
right behind the curb. Sometimes they can even help you. Like I felt like they slow you down, but they sometimes also kind of save you.
You're employing the rally strats there already, I suppose.
Yeah. Then one interesting aspect as well for OverTake Turbo / Track Titan is of course the setups. So just to give you a quick idea, with the OverTake Turbo membership, so if you are OverTake Premium member, you have one of the esports setups that's here on the left, the tab esports setup per month, and there's also quite recent LMU setups also for the latest patches and stuff. So I looked through today for the Ferrari setup here, and you can also see the team here of Hymo that are your partners, right, Max?
Yeah, Hymo are literally the best guys out there when it comes to setups. Some of the team Redline driver is used by Jimmy Broadband as well. So the top-notch setups you can get out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and thank you MCGC for reminding people to hit that like button. Absolutely. Yeah, and you can then, like one setup per month is maybe not sufficient if you want to drive like weekly LMU, of course, but the setups are also more like a help when you're already at a certain level. So Max, you maybe agree when I say that a setup won't make you a faster driver. It's more about the baseline that you have to have already, and then you can kind of optimize even on that using utilizing the things that the game will kind of provide you with.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say if you are 10 seconds off the pace, there's no need to. I mean, the setup will make you better, but I'd focus firstly on just getting the driving fundamentals done. I'd say that the Hymo setups are very aggressive, and that's a good thing, right? They're quick, but they're also not that easy to drive sometimes. So I'd say work on your technique first. That's what OverTake Turbo and Track Titan can help with, and then you can actually benefit from the setups once you kind of get within maybe a 5 to 6 second delta window.
I loaded up, by the way, Yannick, I loaded up the SR. So it's like E is always esports, Q is for qualifying, race is for R is for race, and we use the safe version.
Yep, that's what I usually do as well. I've done that in the past few rounds of the LMU Masters, for instance, and I found these setups to be pretty helpful already. So
especially when it rains. I think one of the major differences is always the max pedal force. So LMU allows you to kind of vary between, like a lower percentage, and that gives you a little bit more of a safe zone for the braking, kind of to not lock up, right? If you are not running on 100%, you have to be more sensible on the braking pedal.
Yeah,
I think that's a bigger difference. Okay, start driving. I already lost 2.5 minutes, so let's hurry up.
yeah, I'm already at the end of my outlap here.
Okay, let's go. Piotr has a question already about track tighten and brake marks. How is it provided for the user? I used Delta last month to try, and my braking points versus reference was very tough to differentiate.
Yeah, I saw the question. I'm not entirely sure I get it. Do you mean, if you could reply, do you mean how you can see where you brake compared to the reference lamp? Or what do you mean exactly?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
We'll see it in the app. Yeah.
I know for iRacing, for instance, you have this like video feature even, right? For some of the esports setups.
Yeah, for many of them, exactly. So we produce thousands of track guides and mainly focus on iRacing and ACC. And we will do that for LMU as well. It's just a matter of kind of capacity, right? We're a small team. You can see our office in the background. We're a startup. So we don't quite yet have the capacity to do LMU track guides, but that will come. And then, yeah, exactly. So we will see in a second. You will see where do you brake and where does the reference brake. But we also have features that automatically enable you to click, hey, take me to the brake point, the ideal brake point. And then the data will kind of jump to that. So we'll get to see that in a second once the guys finish driving.
That's one already kind of tricky here. Finding the exact apex and also figuring out how much can you go like onto the curbs and where are the track limits. That's always something that you have to find out in a couple of laps to see really where are the limits, right?
It's always a bit difficult, especially with these tracks that have corners that aren't exactly like confidence-inspiring. You know, they are not straightforward, so it's difficult to push there and find those limits. I feel like, anyway.
So penultimate corner, and then we are on our first timed lap. Final turn, Yannick. You will stay in third gear, or?
So far, I've been in second actually, but I'm not sure if that's the way to go. If I'm perfectly honest.
We will see it in the data. Probably.
That's an interesting topic as well, the red gears, right? We'll get to it, but obviously what the reference lap, like literally an esports driver does, gear-wise, might not be the best choice for you. Because let's say you're in second, they're in third, but it might be that they're just able to go that much quicker, and therefore third is the right gear. So kind of get to that and how we also give you what we think is a right reference lap to learn from.
Fully understeer.
A little bit too late here. Yeah, this is a double right. Third gear, kinda. So the characteristic between the first part here and the following part is kinda similar. That's why I sometimes, especially when I reboot, when I restart driving here, I'm sometimes confused where I am because everything looks the same.
Yeah, kind of a bit difficult.
So I try to
Doesn't
keep.
get much better once it's dark here, as they race into the darkness in real life as well.
So here I was not quite sure if I should use the whole like outer zone of the corner, or if I should just stick on the inside curb and accelerate whenever the car feels stable enough. And then we have this triple right-hander. It's very tricky. I think you can lose and gain a lot of time there.
I was in the sim earlier, just doing a few laps, and that's where I actually lost the most time, surprisingly, in the triple right hand. Because usually, I mean, we tend to lose the most time in slow corners. Pretty simple why, right? Because you simply spend more time in them. But it's such a technical triple right-hander that's where I lost the most time as well.
Okay, my braking marker for turn 1 is kind of the second green advertisement banner or braking marker.
I've gone with the 100-meter board so far, I think.
My first lap was kinda invalid. I don't know why. But that's not a problem. Okay, that's good. Using the curbs. I'm trying to aim for the apex and use... I don't know yet if it's like recommended to use a lot of the curbs here or avoid them, because I felt like in Fuji, 2 days ago, the curbs were slowing you down quite significantly sometimes. But the ones here don't feel as intrusive.
Yeah, I think they're less less pronounced, but you gotta stay off the colored bits on the inside curbs, for instance. Like the colored surface inside the curb, that's super slippery, I found.
Triple right-hander again. Just trying to stabilize the car a little bit with the brake, just tapping the brake for a split second.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing, right, that we'll see in the data in a second, exactly like how much curb should you take. Because if you think about curbs, it's a bit of a trade-off between you get a better line, but they unsettle the car, especially in a high downforce car like this. Right, so the whole point of like looking at the data and looking at turbo in seconds to see, hey, what is the ideal way to drive this? And then you can implement that by actually having the confidence in it.
Okay, Yannick, I have my first lap, 145.8.
All right. Need to check actually. I think mine was a 45.6 something.
Messed it up. Yeah, I'm so curious to see really also where our biggest differences were then. So we will also compare
Probably
then
braking.
our lap times, yeah. Yeah, this was not good.
Yeah, 45.67 was my first time lap. This one is already ready for the bin.
Yeah, this is still a little bit of a mystery to me. The one that we just drove through. Yeah, triple right-hander again.
Yep.
You have to really trust the aero here. Too late for the apex. Okay, but at least stabilized.
Yeah, as a general tip, I think, I mean, this stream is a bit late for me, but you tend to turn in a bit too late. And that's usually then a vision thing. So
Yep.
try to maybe look toward the apex a bit earlier, which is like the number one thing people do wrong. So it's a very common sim racing thing, especially, more even so than in the real world. Just look into the apex well before you even get on the brakes.
Yeah,
And then you'll naturally turn a bit earlier.
it's a good advice, thank you. Yeah, I sometimes remind myself of that, and then I also see like, oh, I forgot to really have the right viewing direction.
Yeah. And that's obviously like we can't see that directly in the data once you look at it, but you kind of at some point you start seeing patterns, right? Like if it's always a big turn-in, then it's very likely to be a vision thing. And it's normal, right? Like you tend to look right in front of your car, like if you're in road traffic. But if you do that, it's almost like, oh damn, I missed the turn-in point.
Yeah. Yeah, this one. Oh no. Last corners need to turn in way earlier. And also brake a tad earlier. So still in the 45s.
Yeah, same here, and also in no man's land when it comes to apexes, or some of them anyway.
Why do you think you keep missing the apex? You know, Yannick?
Just not consistent yet on this track. That's the issue. I know where to brake roughly, but I don't nail the braking point every lap yet, and then you just understeer into oblivion sometimes.
Then try to understeer into Skyrim maybe instead.
No. That's a nerd joke. Maybe Morrowind even.
Okay, I think I can be earlier on the throttle here. I will have one more lap after this one, and then we will analyze the first bunch of data. But maybe you also know that, Max, especially for sim racing streamers and content creators, it's even harder to like talk and drive at the same time sometimes, especially when you learn the track. So that's also not the ideal scenario.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We'll take the data with a pinch of salt once we get it in a second.
Okay, still left a lot of time on the table, but at least got almost 2/10, so that's good.
Yeah, final turn is my nemesis. Still not sure about the exit.
Difficult.
Yeah, but the setup is very friendly. Like, it's it tells you when you push a little bit too much. Like here, I was a bit overcommitted now. Let's try to be a bit earlier on the throttle here this time, to make use of the full width of the track.
Regarding MGC's comment in the chat, yeah, fully with you. I think eye tracking would be sick, and there are tools for this, right? Cameras, and in big kind of professional simulators, you actually have this, like glasses the drivers are wearing to actually see where the eyes are going. And we thought about this, right? Like, could we do something like that in sim racing? But for us, so far, the challenge has been how do you make that affordable, right? An eye tracking camera or device for people. But yeah, let us know if you have any ideas on how we can make it happen.
That sounds pretty cool, yeah.
It does. Maybe there's a way to do this using a webcam somehow.
There definitely are ways. It's getting cheaper and cheaper, right? So it's a matter of like processing speed and power, and it's a matter of focus. I'd say like vision stuff is important, but usually people are able to figure that out themselves.
Okay.
We're spending most of our time like really granular advice.
Yep.
First,
lap done. What
yeah,
did you get?
first stint is done. My best lap was the final one actually. I won 45.667.
All right. Yeah, final lap for me as well. Managed to get it down to a 44.891 actually.
Not bad.
But there is plenty of time on that track still to be found.
100%.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Let me quickly check if it. Yeah, it has my session. I think it didn't process the final lap. Or did it? No, I think.
Yeah, it might take a minute or two, depending on the upload speed.
Okay, let me quickly
Yeah.
finish the
Didn't
session.
for me either, I don't think. But I also haven't exited the in-game part yet.
Yeah,
So
I'll
let's
try
see.
that as well. My sessions.
Still says 45.496 as the fastest lap here.
Yeah, it hasn't recorded my final lap either, but it's not a big difference, so we can start analyzing.
For me, yeah,
Okay.
6/10. But all right, anyway.
Okay, here we are. That's that was lap 3. 45.8 in the Ferrari here on Lusail. And we can see already the system tells us that we lose big time in segment 7. It's even like glowing. It tells us, oh, there's something wrong.
Segment 4 is actually the worst for me, but 7 is in second place, if you will.
Yeah. Okay, so Max, the best way would work from like the weakest to the strongest corners to kind of see what you did wrong, right? So I would now start.
Yeah, in general, that's kind of the idea. We can get an overview, right, of the session as well. So starting from the top left, obviously we look at your fastest lap time, the 1:45. But
Yeah.
also, if you look down, we have something we call a theoretical best. And that's super important and maybe not that obvious to people. The theoretical best, the 144.593, which kind of says, hey, if you did all your best corners in one lap, that's the potential you have. And what that really is supposed to show you is actually, if you put it all together, Michel, you would be 1.3 seconds faster.
Yeah.
That's the kind of idea, right? And by default, this is a fairly new feature on Track Titans. Like by default, we pick your fast time. But if you click on the drop down where it says lap 3 at the top, the red one, you can also compare yourself to your theoretical best. So that's kind of the idea. Do you want the actual fastest or what you're really capable of right
So
now?
you click the green bar in the top where it says Track Titan personalized reference lab, and you compare it against your theoretical best. Yeah.
Or you can still be compared to someone else, but rather than comparing against your fastest lap, you compare it to your theoretical best in the red. And that's kind of best fit either way.
Okay.
Depending on what you want to find out, right? Do you want to see where am I losing my potential to myself, or what could I be doing, and where does that kind of position me against someone else in the system?
And I can also compare against Yannick Haustein's lab.
Crucial.
And that's kind of interesting now, because Yannick had a 44.8, and we can.
But that lap didn't record.
No, it recorded for me. I now see it.
Did it? All right,
Yeah.
nice.
And
Actually,
I looked for your session
now
data.
it's there.
Yeah. Maybe I also have to refresh then. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It got mine as well. No, look. Okay, so the recording worked at the end. Yeah, let's get Yannick's lab again and see where we lose the most time. But maybe let's first compare. Let's do it the right way first, okay? Let's first compare against my theoretical best. So we can see that I kind of lost more than a second. And yeah, I think there's a lot of areas to discover where we lose a lot of time. So let's start with segment 3. So we click into the segment, and then Track Titan starts to show you different graphs. First of all, you see the speed graph, and on top you can also see here the track layout. And bottom right, you can also see where the segment is. So this is like shortly after so segment 2 is basically the first corner, T1 kinda, and then segment 3 is the following, like this left-hander, and then this like almost flat out right-hander. And it seems like can now compare the speed, and I think especially the reference curve shows. Yeah, I kind of, what I did probably is braking for a second time to correct myself, and I can see that in the braking tab that I braked again here. And this is like on the exit, so I was running out of track probably, as you can also see here in the track map. I was kind of leaving the outskirts of the track, and then had to brake to correct myself. So that was not ideal. But
and likely because you came to the throttle too early, I would assume, right? Because you start running white, so if you go on the throttle, then you should be able to see that. I can't see it on the stream right now; it's a bit delayed for me.
Yeah. I was too early on the throttle. Yeah, you can tell here from the
and
graph.
Then I have to back off again.
Yeah. So this is
and
just.
It kind of shows, right, from a general coaching standpoint, super important. Like I don't want to go into like a physics lecture, but kind of what you do when you come to throttle, you lift the nose of the car up, which means there's less weight, less grip on the front tires, and that's why you understeer wide. And that's what happened here. So in general, ideally try to be patient, really just come to the throttle in one go, because a lot of people kind of come on and off, and that costs a ton of time.
Yeah. That's always like this balancing the grip of all 4 tires with your inputs, and steering in conjunction with braking and throttle inputs. But I think this error, this driver mistake here, is something that will kind of even itself out when having more track time. So that's nothing I would be like super concerned about now. Okay, so when I want to go back to the overview, I just go here, like back button on top, and then we are back in the whole overview. And if I compare it again to, there's maybe one more corner that is here. Let's see what's different here. If we look at speed and braking, there was just a simple being a bit too slow in general. I think there wasn't a big difference between the inputs, like braking and throttle wise. In the reference,
Braking really it seems.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the reference lap, I braked already a little bit later, so yeah. And then comparing it to the. So what is this, Max? What is this Track Titan personalized reference lap? What does this take
So
into?
that's ultimately what we used to do is we simply compare you to an esports driver, right? Someone who's super quick. But then the feedback we got, rightly so, was, hey, I'm maybe 7 seconds off the pace. I could never match that, right? If I brake with a brake, I'm in the wall. Or they set that fast lap time, but the temperatures were different, the tires were different. So it does intelligently. It finds the best of all the reference laps that we have, finds the one that we believe you will learn the most from. So that's a mix of weather conditions, car setup, and so on, but also your driving skill. And that kind of adjusts automatically in real time depending on the lap. So if you as a driver improve, then we might also show you for the next session a different reference lap.
I see. Yeah, that sounds smart, kinda. And I see that I have a big weak spot here, probably. It's always also segment 3. It's like the same. Yeah, where I was running out of track. So we can also like compare my theoretical best now against the Track Titan personalized lap, which kind of also helps to have a more like broader view on your lap time, right? Like if
sure.
you take your theoretical best against a personalized reference, then we can already see that this weak spot of my best lap of the session is not so much in segment 3, but yeah, overall I'm losing between 2 to 3 tenths per segment, but there's one segment outstandingly bad, like segment 7. Let's look into that one. And I think
I
that
would say
is
that with improvement potential. Not
yeah.
bad.
And that is indeed the triple right-hander. So as we can see, the esports driver, he really only is tapping the brake and otherwise relying on the aero of the car. And I was still so cautious to like not throw the car away that I'm just constantly trail braking kinda to stabilize the car. But it seems like that is not even required, seems. So the speed is way slower than the reference. So we can
You can
carry.
see in this case, right, this is where the late turn-in is really starting to hurt you. So in the
Yeah.
first right-hand king,
Yeah.
you're not hitting the apex, and that's where you actually, for your line, you did the right thing. You had to brake that much to make it around the corner. But by having turned in earlier, right, you'd have less of a strong steering input, and then you could carry that much speed like the reference lap did.
Yeah. And it looks like you can cut way more. Like you can use way more of the track's limits, like on inside and outside. Yeah. So taking more curb on the entry for the first right-hander, then use also more track on the outside, even though that was already kind of okayish, but there's still a little bit more room. And if you want to see like even closer, you can also zoom in here. So you can zoom in the view to see really where the difference of the position of the car was like on track. And here also the final right-hander, there's just a lot more track to utilize, it seems. Okay, so that's my focus zone for the second part now. Trying to optimize my lap times in that. Like there's minimum 1.5 seconds just in this corner. That will be my focus now. You agree, Max?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, quite interesting.
Encouraging, no?
Yeah.
1.5 seconds in one corner is a lot.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I used Track Titan a lot also when learning Sebring, and that helped me a lot because I always lost so much time in the first corner on Sebring because I didn't have the like commitment or not the right take on how close to the wall, and because you really have to be courage like almost hitting that wall.
It's very much threading the needle at way too high a speed and with a very bumpy surface. But yeah.
And then I wanted to see also like my comparison to Yannick's lap. So okay, not my theoretical best, that would be unfair, but my fastest lap then to Yannick's fastest lap and see where the differences are. Interestingly, it's also the triple right-hander where Yannick has almost 7 tenths. He's quicker. But
Still 8/10 to the reference lap though, just there. So tells you quite a lot, I guess.
You also got to keep in mind, right? What's obviously a thing with high downforce cars is kind of you have this virtual cycle of the faster you go, the more downforce you get, the faster you can go. So if you miss the line by even a tiny bit, that might slow you down by 5 kph in a GT car, but by 15 in a high downforce car. That's probably why you two are losing, comparatively speaking, the most in that corner section.
Yeah. And then Track Titan also gives you some tips, right? If you compare to your reference lab. There's also these like machine learning kind of or generated driver tips.
And I think those are particularly useful because it doesn't just present you with a bunch of data where you can draw your own conclusions, what's different, what you're doing wrong, in quotation marks, compared to the reference lab, but it actually tells you things to try. For me, it's often you should be slightly wider on the corner entry, so I probably should run on the curves on corner entry, that sort of stuff. And these things you wouldn't necessarily notice, I don't think, if the overlap between your line and the reference line is very big. So it's not like it's significant that not so that the reference lap is significantly wider to the outside, but just a fraction. You might not notice that. That sort of stuff is really helpful, I think.
Yeah, okay. That was quite interesting to take a little deep dive into the data. And now we are opening the middle segment, kinda, our 30-minute practice, where we really focus now on the things that we just saw in the data. So, Yannik, I will just create my next session. Same cars, same weather. Let me check, because LMU does never save the settings.
Reset everything.
So you have to,
except the start time, interestingly.
So we have to do the preset again. Heavy preset. And the weather as well. Light clouds 22 it was, right? Yeah. Light clouds 22. How does Max? How does Track Titan take into consideration also the fuel level and tire status or tire wear? Is that something that is also taken into consideration when comparing the lap times? Because now over a longer session, our car will not obviously also change a bit. Is that
for sure. It takes into account when it picks the reference lap. That's exactly the thing, right?
Okay.
So if you do a 90-liter fuel stint, you would get different reference laps than on a quite empty tank, right? Or soft versus hard compound. Depends on the sim title, obviously, right? Some of them are super granular, like iRacing, when it comes to even like rubber state and so on. Whereas the F1 game, for instance, a bit more arcadey. And then for us, it's also a data and insights question, right? For certain combinations that are very popular, we have a lot of different where we can literally match your temperatures exactly, your tire type, your fuel level, and some others not yet, right? But that's the beauty of the platform getting bigger and bigger. That the bigger Track Titan gets, with all the new members coming in, the more effective the platform actually gets at giving you good tips.
Yeah, it's really cool to see also the alien times, kind of, and see what's different.
Demoralizing, no?
Yeah, that too.
And what I like in particular is also that with the element of the esports setup, for this esports setup, you at the same time also have the lab telemetry, so you can see kind of you can really compare then, because hey, I have the same setup, I have the same like foundation of my lab that the esports driver had, so you can really compare your lab then, because it's just the same setup. Okay, Yannik, you are ready? Have you set the session also to 30 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then
haven't started it yet.
I'll hit start race weekend now. So let's get in.
Yep, same thing. Let's see whose SSD reigns supreme.
Max, while we have our outlaps and getting back to the to the pace, kinda, maybe you can tell us a little bit about your like coaching, like what is important about coaching? How does Track Titan also offer like dedicated personal coachings? And like in general, your what you like about coaching? What were your funniest moments or dangerous moments maybe in coaching? Tell us a little bit about that aspect.
Yeah, maybe let's start with why does it matter, or like I think there's nothing better in the world than coaching other people to do something you love, but especially if it's so inaccessible, like racing as a whole. And of course, like I'll be honest, like doing it in the real world is that extra bit of G-force and fun compared to the sim, but ultimately it's the same activity. So I think it's just like if you think about sports in general, this is the only sport where you can really try to replicate what a pro did down to the nth degree. Right? In football, you always have discussions about should I have really made that pass? No one's going to know. In this case, we can see, hey, you can break a bit later, you can get a bit earlier. So I think it's quite addictive to do that. And hence also what we do at scale with Track Titan, right? I'm only one person. I can sit in the car in one car at a time, whereas Track Titan is running at 150,000 laps today. So that's super cool. Funniest moments. I don't know. There are funny moments. I wouldn't say dangerous, of course. Like sometimes people crash. Right. That happens when you're pushing, when you're on the limit. And that's scary sometimes. We're trying to avoid crashing cars, but luckily nothing major where anyone got injured so far.
Yeah, I can imagine as a driver coach, sometimes you have clients or people who just also not so good at learning new things, and they are maybe a little bit too like excited and stuff, and this is very, very individual thing, I guess.
Totally, and that's kind of also it's really cool to, I mean, Track Titan is the day job, and then every now and then I go to a real life racetrack and coach, right? And obviously the two are inherently very, very linked, and makes me think deeply about what actually makes someone faster, right? Because it's not just graph after graph and the telemetry tool, it's also thinking about the human side, right? How do we nudge someone to give that extra little bit? And that's where we have many gamification functions on the platform, like rewarding you for the fastest lap times and so on. Because I think the skill is one side, but kind of getting excited about, okay, if I get that last 10th out of the lap, that's kind of the achievement of the day. I think that's half what gets you there. So I think that human side is usually what's lacking in many telemetry or coaching tools in racing. And that's exactly what we're kind of taking from real life coaching to the platform.
Oh, Piotr, I think you were right. I choose the Portimao setup instead of Qatar. Whoopsie.
It's a good start.
That's a good
Still
start.
good for that truck, to be honest. Quite similar in nature.
Yeah. Yeah, and so can you also book private coaching sessions on Track Titan? Is that a thing?
We are currently thinking about it. So we get a lot of requests for it. And for us, it's like, I think we want to offer it. It's a matter of focus, right? Every hour that we spend on building the infrastructure for direct coaching and so on, it's an hour we can kind of spend on the core product of automating coaching for everyone. So we will offer it, but it's not the number one priority right now, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
For us, it's really the mission is about giving access to insights for everyone. And relatively speaking, right, you can get a Track Titan or an OverTake Turbo subscription. I mean, the basic one is completely free, up to $19.99 a month, the most expensive one. That's still quite a bit cheaper than if you like book with an actual coach or an esports driver, right? And that's why, yeah, the core mission is very much focused on how do we make it more accessible for everyone, not just those that kind of want coaching.
Yeah, I'm also more of a self-learner.
Yeah.
But it's also very helpful sometimes to have a professional driver. I mean, it's always a question of how far do you want to take this hobby, yeah? If you obviously want to go like pro sim racer and you want to earn money with tournaments and stuff, then you at some point will probably need a teammate or a professional that helps you to get like the last, the final 5% or something. That's always the hard part. Like you can get to a certain level with self-learning and YouTube videos and following the basic rules of everything, but then there's still something. And also depends, like we already said, it's very individual. There are incredible talented drivers and drivers who need a little bit more practice to get to their lap times.
Yeah, I'd say where one-on-one coaching really helps. I mean, obviously at the really high end, but also for complete beginners, amateurs, is actually guided driving. So you as an instructor driving in front of someone else, because I think looking at a video or seeing a racing line on a tool is one thing, but having a car kind of pull you with them. That's at least in the real world, it's extremely effective. That's what we do at Porsche, and we do that in the sim coaching sessions as well. So sometimes we'd have customers that practice with us in the sim before a real life test day in the GT3 Cup, and that kind of transition of the kind of, hey, we're kind of like a train of GT3 cars. That's really effective to, because it's almost like people almost unleash the last few tens by accident because they just follow you. So it can definitely help.
Yeah, I did that as well, guided driving on Bilsterberg once. Also really helpful. Oh, almost lost the car here. So I expected that I have more of a, more lost time here in this one. So now we are approaching the triple right-hander again. Let's see. Less braking, more coasting.
And earlier turning, especially right. So I'm seeing it slightly delayed, but you had a bit of a twitchy oversteer moment. And it was mainly still by turning in too late. And then you need to put in a lot of steering angle that will settle the car.
Yeah.
So if you turn in early but smoothly, then the car will be stable even without braking much.
Okay, yeah. I will try to use more of the track than even. But my lap time was already way quicker. 45.555. That's the Subaru lap time.
Yep, naturally. Yeah, I improved by quite a lot as well. I managed somehow at 43.4. So that was pretty encouraging for the first time lap, let's say.
That track helped with, that curb helped with the rotation. Unintentionally. Big apex still.
Yeah, seeing how the reference lap goes way more to the outside and inside of turns, I realized that you can cut a few of these corners much more than you think, which is very helpful in some instances.
Yeah, especially with curve on a track like this, it's kind of, you can take so much curve, but you never know, is it unsettling too much? It's genuinely sometimes kind of 50-50, and that's probably what I use shortcut the most for. It's things like, should I brake on the curve? It's also sim by sim different, right? How realistic is it? You get a quick look at what the fast lap does, and then it's easy. It's like, you don't need to keep trying, you just know that's what you should do.
Oh, too wide. This lap will not count.
Damn it.
Yeah, at this point, this is just about hitting it once and then kind of implementing it to your driving style. Would have been a good lap,
and
no?
then not hitting those gravel traps because you go half a centimeter too far over the curb on exit. Damn it!
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let us know. We have a very experienced track driver and coach here today with us, with Max. So that's your chance to ask about certain things about and around training and improving your lap times and stuff.
Yeah, it can be about LMU, can be about this track, this car, but also just general things about how to get faster, what to kind of prioritize when practicing also.
Is there one major mistake you see that people have with LMU specifically?
LMU is an interesting one because of the Hypercars hybrid deployment. I would say that those cars are less punishing if you get on the power really early mid-corner. So, I mean, we saw another example in your first analysis, Michel, right? That you went out too wide, you understeer. But that happens less in those cars than in GT car, for instance. So that's not LMU, it's more Hypercar specific. So I'd say you can come on the power a bit earlier, but then you still got to be patient not to just go flat out, right? Like an GT car is more you wait till the very end, then you go boom on the throttle, especially in ACC, and here it's a bit more gradual, kind of halfway between F1 and a GT car, I would say.
Ah, yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's the R factor model, right? So it's just, it needs very smooth driving. If you compare it to ACC, right? Depends on what else you like. iRacing also super smooth, but it's just, it really rewards general smoothness. All right, we got one question about which tweak set up first for improvement, which tweak after. It's a very good question. I think many people completely over-engineer setups to an extent that they're definitely detrimental for you, right? So in most real-life cars, the only things you can change are actually the tires and maybe the anti-roll bars, and that's for a reason, because you can do a ton with them. So thinking about, like, as a general rule of thumb, what you want to do is, depending on if you're understeering, you want more grip on the front, oversteering, you want more grip on the rear, and you can do that a lot just by changing the tire pressures. So if you're a beginner or even an amateur, even if you're fairly quick, I wouldn't even touch the rest, because you might do something in conjunction with another change which completely messes up the car setup. So it's in general, you want more front end grip. Relatively speaking, you want lower pressure at the front. If you're struggling at the rear, lower pressures at the rear. And of course, you don't want to completely get them flat, right? But kind of just start with tire pressures for a long, long time. That would be my one piece of advice.
And would you say that a general approach to especially slower corners would be slow in, fast out in the hypercars?
In general, it depends very much on the car type, right? Like how much of a wide line you should take. If you think about racing lines, you can always take different lines, right? And in some cars, it's really a matter of choice because both work. But really, it's, optimizing a racing line is a matter of how much do you sacrifice the entry for the exit. And that depends on, is it a front wheel drive, a rear wheel drive, high power, low power, and so on. So I wouldn't say there's a general rule of thumb. But in this car, I would say you can actually, you don't need that straight an exit, so you can carry more speed into the entry than you might think. More so than in an F1 car, for instance. And why is that? Because you have the all-wheel drive, which gives you a ton of traction. Then we got a question from Katle, what are the things I could try to improve my mid-corner speed? I feel like over-brake a lot mid-corner. I say, if you the question is, why do you lose mid-corner speed? Given when you say you over-brake, that makes it seem like you maybe understeer. And understeering happens for various reasons, right? But as you said, very common is they just apply too much pressure as you're already in the middle of the corner. And braking in the middle of the corner itself is not a bad thing. It's only bad if you're still steering. So if you think of the grip you have available for anything you want to do for steering, for braking, for accelerating, that grip is fine under the circle. And if you're at 100% brake pressure, you then start turning in, the tire's just at its limit, and you will understeer. And that's where you start running the corner. So I think almost as if your pedals with a throttle or brake are connected to the steering wheel with a rope, which means if you start turning in, there needs to be a change in throttle or brake application. Same on the way out. Let's say you have the steering wheel turned in. You cannot get on the power unless you also open up the steering with it. Think about that rope analogy. Hopefully that helps on the way into the corner now.
That's a good point, yeah.
And I know these examples like the rope, it sounds ridiculous, but it usually really helps with coaching because it's like it's a metaphor to remember when you make a mistake. Think about the rope, right? Be patient. Like think about full throttle only once you're almost straight, and as you turn in, off the throttle and gently onto the brakes, but also then not too much once you're in the middle.
Oh, that looks like a pretty good lap now. Another pro tip, don't get distracted too much by your deltas.
Yeah, I've even written an article in the past about this, just to switch that off in the HUD or on your dashboard or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it does. I catch myself doing that all the time. Like after every corner, I look at the delta, trying to figure out, did I do well in this corner?
Yeah.
And that doesn't help with consistency
No.
usually.
And this was exactly the reason why my lap is now invalidated. Because I just spent too much effort looking at this lap time. But I'm getting there. Few corners got really good now. Some are really bad still.
Yep.
I have too many invalid laps this time.
That doesn't help.
And that's not good for the data, because track type needs the valid laps, of course.
Yeah, your theoretical best is also only based on segments and valid laps.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be a bit unfair. Which is a funny story, actually. The original AC is the first thing we supported. For a long time, we just didn't know from the game whether a lap was invalid or valid. And especially in Monza, you could imagine everyone's theoretical best. Suddenly, Monza didn't have any chicanes. But that's what it looked like. So
Yeah.
it was a big struggle to clean up the leaderboards.
I can imagine. Yeah, I think here on the exit you can also gain and lose a lot. Oh shit, yeah, this is now my weak spot. Like a new bad habit that I generated now in this like exit. I try to maximize really the outcome and then completely mess up the driving. I wonder,
We've got
like,
two more questions.
yeah.
Sorry.
First, maybe Yannick, the triple right-hander stay in 4th gear,
Yes.
or is it 5th gear, like low?
I use 5th.
5th, yeah? Okay. I kind of thought about that.
Seems to be a bit more stable that way, at least for my style, I guess.
Yeah, two more questions. But regarding the losing time in the mid corner, it's tough to gauge. But from your comment, maybe just send us your session for free. Literally to my email, it's just max@tracktitan.io. Send it over, and then I can take a look if you want to record it there.
Now that's service.
OverTake Turbo. By mid corner speed, it depends, right? It could be you brake it too much, too little, that you turn the steering wheel too much and understeer because of that. It's tough to just get feedback based on text. Then second one, fastest way to learn a new track. What kind of memory game should you play with yourself as such? Very good question. I would switch off the racing line. Super important because it makes you a very lazy new track learner. I know it's a helpful drug, so to speak, for learning track. But your mind has to be driving around, just following that artificial line, and you never actually think about what's happening in the track, right? Is there an elevation change? Is there a big curve? Are there reference points that will help me find my own braking, my own turning point? Because eventually you will need to drive away from the racing line, so switch off the racing line, number one. And then I'd say what I usually do is actually watch a few onboard laps before driving. Because if you're going out cold without knowing anything, you're going to want to learn the track and also think about what line should I take. And let's face it, we're all on the wall at that point, right? No one drives under the limit, and that just gets frustrating. Then you spin, you don't know which way to go. So watch a few good laps, good few onboards, a few track rides on anything you do, and then you're going to learn the brake quicker that way. Alright, Yannick and Michel driving, I'll take the next question. Why did the cars try to spin on you with no feedback when staring up after you overshoot a corner? Tires aren't burned up, but it wants to spin you. Very good question. That really depends on the sim and the car, and especially the setup, right? So first things first, that's just what happens in a race car. And most people don't know that because road cars aren't set up like this. Like imagine in a road car, you brake a bit too late and the back kind of wants to step out. Super dangerous. So any road car you've ever driven feels very different. So no feedback is especially a problem of high downforce cars with lots of grip, because the grip window is very, very small, which means if you go over the limit, there's almost no time to react. You see that in F1, that in F1 if someone kind of snaps a bit, it's usually very aggressive and very tough to save, whereas if you're drifting around in a BMW M4, the kind of window of losing grip is very wide, right? So I would say in your case, Tim, if you're struggling to keep the car stable, don't drive a hypercar or an F1 car in iRacing. I just start with GT cars or even a road car, right? Or like an MX-5 Cup, which just makes it much easier to feel the car sliding, then you can actually counter steer.
Oh, this triple right-hander kills me. But driving it in 5th gear and just focus on the racing line already really helped.
I say you're still turning in, I would say, about 10 meters too late in each of the 3 kings.
Turn in.
Yes, turning. You're turning in too late, and that's why you miss the apex. So try to really place the full car over the apex curve of each king.
Okay, aim more for the curb, yeah.
Yeah. And again, very common thing, right, vision-wise. So just really look at the corner and literally think, this is where I would turn in, and you do it 10 meters earlier.
Yeah.
As weird as it may seem, you'll feel the difference.
Come on. Yeah, later in the data I want to really see for the reference lap if people are giving a little brake impulse here or if they just lift and coast a bit. Ah, too late, too late, too late. And I almost spun. Okay, let's focus. Yeah, there's still so much time in there. Wow. So much time.
Much.
It looked much better this time. Like that'll be easily half a second, I would say, just in the triple right hand.
Yeah.
Compared to your best one before.
That time was a 1:44.98.
Yeah, this one I have to be in the apex way earlier. This one feels okay by now. Okay-ish. And this one you have to be on throttle early. Yeah. Can
Yeah, to Patja's point, for sure, I think if you chase laps, so message is trying to chase the lap time too much will kill your lap time. For sure, especially if you do it too early. Right? I'd say until you're consistent, like really consistent over the course of like 20 laps without spinning, without going off, you shouldn't actually push for lap time.
Yeah.
Of course, like you can experiment with some corners. That's like, does this line work better? Can you brake on the curve? That sort of thing. But really pushing for lap time, exactly, it just ruins your rhythm. Right? And then you don't end up learning anything. You're just frustrated after 2 hours of driving.
So maybe it's really the best advice to turn off the lap time or the constant pressing delta.
I think it's a good feedback mechanism, right? But exactly, it's like you lose focus first of all because you keep looking at it.
Yeah.
So if they like delta, you know, unless you're literally, I don't know, pushing for a hot lap competition in the top 5, and you need to know. It gives you a kick as well, but it's definitely stressful.
Too fast entry. Yeah, usually I try to be too fast at the entry and I'm not... Yeah, the steering input is not good yet in terms of the apex. As Max said, I'm a little bit too late, and I feel that also. The car's telling me, hey, you are pushing my front tires a little bit too much on corner entry. Ah. Man, this is my absolute nemesis, this corner. But I really like the fact that we chose a track that we don't like, or that we don't practice as often, instead of showing Spa for the 10,000th time.
Yeah, it's good for learning as well, right?
Yeah.
Like different corners, different things to think about.
Yeah, also a bit of a blank slate, I guess, depending on experience. I don't think we, or either of us, had many laps here before. So, same sort of experience level at the track, I'd say.
My tires are also starting to show a bit of wear now. I pushed them a little bit too much sometimes. Yeah, it's really getting less grip now.
Oh, this and next lap won't count. Great.
Ah, that's the worst.
Penultimate corner on the exit. Just touch the gravel a little bit and there you go.
Yeah. But you can already tell, like, LMU's tire sound, it's just like... this kind of noise that it starts to make. And I think, Max, it's also safe to say that, like, taking a break after, like, a session of improvement or practice, like, taking a break, let it sink in, kinda. I had this situation so often that I just got back in the rig the other day, and I immediately found half a second or so on the same track.
Yeah, definitely helps. Depends on what you're after as well, right? I think, let's say, in the GT Academy days, for instance, I was like in the rig 2.5, 3 hours non-stop every day. But then it's like, you almost, unless you do that, you're not going to be anywhere near the times you need to do. But that's like after having done, I don't know, probably 1,000 laps of Spa non-stop, right? But let's say if you're just kind of casually racing and trying to get better, exactly, like, or it's still on the learning journey, not kind of in the final 2/10s, which are pretty nuts in top tier sim racing. I think exactly them taking breaks, literally writing down your mistakes as well. Because let's say your vision example, right? Probably not looking to the apex early enough. That will definitely creep in again and again. It sounds ridiculous, but you could put a sticker or like a post-it note next to your wheel, like, think about vision.
Yeah.
But just to remember it again and again and again, because it's the sort of thing, like, mistakes creep in again, right? We're humans, and in this case, unfortunately, so remembering that, taking a step back definitely helps.
Yeah, absolutely. This happens way too often to me that I remind myself of exactly that, like vision, 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 vision.
And in a way, that's kind of like a main purpose of using any data or coaching tool like OverTake Turbo, right? It's just like to put it in your face. Like, for instance, for me, a key mistake is probably that I trail brake off a bit too quickly. As in, not the main bit, but like some drivers are extremely good at keeping like 10% brake pressure all the way to the apex. And I'm a bit impatient, but I'm gonna get back in the power, and sometimes I remember that, sometimes I don't, and then it's right in your face, and like, it's a good kick in the butt, to be honest. Because the data doesn't lie, right? So you know what to do.
Okay, final lap for now.
I hope I can get in one more, because I know where a lot of time is, but I just couldn't string it together into one lap yet. And that's an annoying feeling, if you ask me.
I'm really
And so
frustrated.
first one,
Yeah, I'm really frustrated with the triple right-hander. And now I kind of lost the rhythm because the tires are just not grippy anymore.
Yeah,
that
just short of
question,
another lap,
what's
damn it.
the best way to practice on track? Some example would focus on that. I think, first of all, just, I mean, obviously learn the track as in what direction does it go in. Second important thing is line over everything, right? Like people try to optimize certain things. It's all about like really being quick is 90% about line. I'm talking about like the centimeter accuracy. Right? So even if you drive at 60% speed, just think about exactly where you want to place the car. And we'll talk about differences of like, in this case, is it on the blue line or the white line, or is it on the curve, right? And nail that, like make it part of your habit, and then try to pick up the speed. And I'd say as you pick up the speed, one important point that people very frequently forget are elevation changes, right? Like you need to think about elevation changes make a huge difference in your car's balance. As a rule of thumb, if you go into an uphill corner, the car tends to oversteer, grip much better on the front and turn in. If you go downhill, the car tends to understeer. So that kind of means you need to adjust, right? You need to brake a bit earlier or later. You can turn in with more speed, things like that. And a lot of people kind of leave time on the table because they never think about, this is an uphill corner. And to be fair, in sim racing, you don't see it as much, right? In the real world, if you go to a rouge, it's like a wall in front of you. In sim racing, it looks big, but probably not as angled as it does.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So I think my training focus now for the triple right-hander, it kind of worked. I mean, I already got a way better lap time than last time. So I got from a 46.5 to a 44.7 already in that 30-minute practice session now. So that's not the worst, but it could have been way better. I think Yannick is way ahead right now, right? Yannick, what was your best lap?
Yeah, I think I managed to iron out segment number 4 the most, because I think I was losing about a second there. Now it's 3,000s actually.
Yeah.
So that helped immensely. Most of the other ones are down considerably as well, except for the triple right-hander, naturally. But yeah, I know where there are some more seconds or tenths to be found. Like I said, I just couldn't put the lap together yet. But yeah, it goes to show again. I had these driving tips in the back of my mind, especially if we're like turn 1, use more of the circuit, take more take more note of where you are on the inside of the track, and that then worked really well too. So yeah, looking forward to our next 30-minute session and to see if I can actually shave off some more.
Yeah, we can decide if we want to do a 15-minute or a 30-minute session now. It also depends a bit on how much time Max still has on his schedule. So
Yeah, I've got another 30 roughly.
okay,
Right.
okay.
Then let's
Yeah.
do a 15-minute one, I'd say, right?
Yeah, we can also do a 30-minute, Yannick. Max can leave us then at some point. That's fine. We can just continue practicing. So yeah, 1 second almost I found in the last session. So still, it's still the triple right-hander where I lose the most time. Yeah. But I kinda have an idea now of what I'm doing wrong. So it's still the entry to the apex, then just the general speed that can be increased. I mean, and then also track, like it seems like the pro or the reference time just uses more track on the outside here. So which one
I
is
will
that?
say one thing as well. Like, I mean, that reference line looks pretty ridiculous. Like, LMU is a bit weird at how it tells us which lap is valid or invalid. I mean,
Yeah.
you know it, right? That's the R-factor model of kind of this dynamic thing. Did you gain or lose time? If you click on the reference lap, and maybe there is, I'm not sure if this reference lap is actually the Heimo driver. The Heimo driver would definitely have done a clean lap. So if you go to community,
Yeah.
then you should see the Heimo driver tag as well.
There's
if
the
it is
Heimo
there.
lap. Yeah.
It is the Heimo lap. Okay, then I guess that is valid in the game, right? Otherwise it wouldn't be on there. And 39, yeah, let's pick that one.
Yeah, let's see here for the line. Okay, he's taking slightly different line. Not as much to the outside as the other one.
Yeah.
But I can just carry more speed, yeah. Okay, the Hymo driver is also going more to the inside in the which one is it? Like this is number 1. Okay, the second one he uses more track on the inside. That's good to see. Mhm. And then he's so for the ladder part it kind of looks okayish. Just more speed. Like if you could just have a better apex here, you can just also carry more speed into the exit. And this is the important part, I would say. Like here you pretty much carry the speed for all of the rest of the triple right-hander and also for the next kind of mini straight. So that's quite important. Let's look at the braking inputs. Wow, so the braking input here is kind of on point, I would say. A little bit too much. But in general, I brake way too. Yeah, I brake too much. But I kind of baked that in already in the later laps, in the later laps. So I kind of felt that I was like too cautious going into the triple right-hander. I just had a few invalid laps where I was way quicker already through there. That's something I can optimize for sure in the next run. Okay, so I'm getting closer.
One thing to keep in mind quickly, like, I mean, we point out kind of as one of your most important mistakes, right? You should be wide on the corner entry. And look at where you are compared to the reference stop, right? It seems like a tiny difference, but this is actually the root cause of everything that goes wrong after, right? So yeah, that's the kind of key thing. Because you're not all the way to the left, and you also have an angle when you turn in, that then makes you miss the apex, which makes you miss the next apex and so on. That's why, in this case, that's the mistake we point out.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah, this one is the comparison again between my lap from last session and Yannik. Yannik is a good second, even more quicker than I was. The majority where he gains time is the first sector, like the second corner. Let's see how his exit and throttle and brake application looks like. I'm the
What
orange.
it's worth, turn 2 isn't all that great on my end either, according to the coaching. So
yeah, I'm
lots
losing
of time to
still
gain
time on the exit. Yeah, I'm still sometimes a bit too. Let's see. I'm too early on throttle. Yeah, you can see here that again like same story as last time. I'm like, because of my vision, my view, I'm kind of not really looking into the corner exit. I'm looking more towards the front of my car, and therefore I think like everything is black tarmac. I can accelerate, and then I'm like, oh wait, maybe I was a bit too early. You can see how clean Yannick went through here, and I was like, oops, too early, way too early. Okay, kind of have to keep that in mind for next time. And then also on the brake, we are pretty similar-ish. It was just the throttle application, so that was where the bunny laid in the pepper.
Wow.
Yeah, and let's see. Also here, this is super interesting. Like corner or segment 6. This is where we have this pretty slow right-hander going into that kind of being early on throttle here, and then this one. Like I don't know if I'm here. This is the exact same spot where I think like, oh, should I brake or should I not brake? And it seems like there is a little braking impulse also by Yannick here in this case. But first, I brake too late. That's also good to know, kind of, for this like slow corner. I think also here, the thing that Max said, like, and also Yannick did that, aiming for the apex in a way earlier and better way. If we zoom in, we will see that also Yannick had his car is slightly more to the right, and then also hits the curb on the inside here probably. Yeah. So using
one thing quickly regarding racing lines also, right? Like I think when you think about a racing line, it's usually all about speed that we think about. But one very easy thing to forget about, like traveling fewer meters saves you time as well, right? So being tight is not just about getting on the power earlier. It's just the tighter your line, the lower your distance, which saves you time, even if you're going the same speed. And especially on the track where the curves are so flat, that's why you almost want to hug the curves all the way around in these long round corners.
Yeah, turn 2 is, Piotr said I have to take a later apex. That's the corner where I sometimes, yeah, this one where I'm too early on the throttle because I just messed up the apex. Yeah, probably, yeah. We can see it also here, like, yeah, yeah. We will try to bake that in now. So next session. So Max, if you have to go, Yannick and I will do another stint.
Right.
Stay on for a few more, and then I'll head off like around 10 after.
Yeah, all right, great. Yeah, then let's quickly hit the track, Yannick. Going to the next 15 minutes session with some fresh tires.
Yeah, and
Okay.
a fresh mind, hopefully.
And a fresh mind, exactly. Okay, 15 minutes, preset heavy, and the weather stuff, and then we are good to go. 22. Yeah, but Max, I can't thank you enough for taking the time.
No, of course.
Talking
Yeah.
us through the stuff. It's very helpful, I think, also for the community. So, yeah, if you guys have more questions, just let us know. Like, it can be mindset, general questions in terms of practicing, and yeah, but also more detailed questions, maybe around Lusail. I will. What also helps me sometimes is just watching those pro laps, and I think with Hymo you also have, in most of the cases, the opportunity to watch the lap time. I think even without loading or downloading the setup, you can watch at least the hot laps, and they are also on the Hymo YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So that sometimes helps just to see like the experienced driver, what would he or she do in a particular corner, or like this helps me. So usually I do the first, like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 laps to get a feel for the track. And then I'm like kind of watching also esports laps to see, okay, they are doing this and that differently here. That always helps me sometimes to like get rid of some bad behaviors from my end. Okay, I'm in the session, Yannick.
Yeah, same here. Just need to load the setup real quick.
Yeah, me too. This time not Portimao, but Qatar. Safe setup.
Where is it? There we go. Too many Peugeot setups in this folder.
Okay.
Weird.
Gameplay. Here we go. Yeah, I will really focus now, not talk too much. I really try to eliminate my weak spots, which is the triple right-hander still, but also turn 2. Exit of turn 2, mainly. It's my 2 focus areas here. So Max, are you still regularly sim racing now?
Less than before starting Track Titan, weirdly. In a way, it's kind of, we have a sim at the office, and we use it a lot for testing, like product testing, new sims, and so on. But sometimes the weird things, like when you think about and look at sim racing all day, sometimes like 10 p.m., I just want to go home, right? But every now and then the odd online competition comes up, which is a good reason to get back into it. Or one of the Heimel guys is at the office, right? Then if they put a time down, then it's very tough to say no. And then you're 2 seconds slower, and you remember what it takes to be at the top level.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling all too well. Anytime we're at the office and are like, yeah, you got to try this combo, it's really good. First question is usually, oh, right, cool. What lap time did you do?
Of course.
And then there's that bit of competitiveness, really.
Yeah.
No, but I do use it a lot for preparing for a new track in the real world. Like new car and track as a prep tool is still incredible. Like you go somewhere you've never been, and you're comfortable going down the straight 190 miles an hour and then braking, not exactly on the limit, right? Still got to go at some margin, but fairly comfortably, maybe 20% below the limit.
Oh, I quickly wanted to see something, so I just freezed my game quickly here because I really wanted to know if the Hymo driver is if he's braking here. Let me quickly check that. So I'm using the Hymo again. And then I wanted to see, like here in I think it's segment 4, no, 5, I think. No, actually it's 6. Yeah, here. This is the segment where I am right now. I really wanted to see if people would be braking here on the, yeah, they are indeed hitting the brake slightly going into here. And yeah, thank you, Booker, for subscribing to our channel. Thank you very much. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, guys. And also check out the links in our video description. because there you can find also, yeah, of course, the OverTake website and the register function, and also OverTake Turbo and a little description page. Like there's an article where we kind of also explain what OverTake Turbo is and how to get involved and how to use it, kind of. It's pretty helpful. So let's continue. Still on our outlap. That means cold tires. But aside from your Gran Turismo Academy participation, what was your biggest success in virtual racing, so to speak?
Back in the day, I did a lot of like PlayStation, what was it called, like the PlayStation Network League, no? PS3 days. I think,
Yeah.
So Gran Turismo was the start. Then I almost skipped like the ongoing pro sim racing side in a more realistic sim part, because GT Academy took it kind of straight to real life racing, actually. But then, I mean, last serious thing I did was a competition by a company called Race Logic. They built a real life telemetry tool, actually.
Oh, the little blue blocks, yeah.
Exactly, V-Box.
Pretty sure everyone knows that.
They had a competition with some esports guys as well, like Shannon Clay Williams, have one esports driver. And it was a cool competition. It was like one different sim each week, like a hot lap challenge. And yeah, that was the last thing I entered in one. And you got a free actual real life track day out of it.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So
nice.
competition, yeah. And fun to kind of be up against the proper esports guys again.
Yeah, I feel like in the past there were some like esports racing championships where you could win crazy stuff like cars and so on, like esports WRC, and
Yeah.
just gave away some cars.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice. I think sim racing esports, it's such an insane level because everyone just grinds like crazy. I'm not saying them like they're incredible drivers, but even if you're an incredible driver, to be competitive there, it's basically a full-time job. And I think it'd be nice to. That was cool about the V-Box thing. Like on the day of the final, no one knew what track and car combinations we had, so no one could practice. Right, so it was kind of thrown in the deep end, and people were super quick, but everyone had to like run on the spot, and then you can't be competitive without practicing for weeks and weeks before. So maybe some sort of format like this at the pro level would be nice.
Yeah, we had that at Sim Formula Europe earlier this year,
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah.
No one was able to practice anything because the last garage just isn't available anywhere, and I
Yeah.
think the competition worked super well because of it.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
different.
I was in the final of that by accident as well. Exactly. It's supposed to show like it could never be like an SRO level or an iRacing top split with the back of practice, but on a day like this, when everyone starts from zero, you can get up there, right? You got the talent and the drawing skill.
Yeah. Yeah, but I know just from the Gran Turismo World Series that the drivers also train a lot, like they practice a lot. Some of them, like the Japanese competition is the highest right now, I feel like. And some of these guys are also playing like 8 to 10 hours sometimes a day, especially in the phase of preparing for the event.
Yeah, it's such tiny differences at some point at that level that yeah, it's just, and that's the kind of the blessing in the curse, I guess, of sim racing. Everyone has unlimited practice time, so you need to put in the work.
Okay, let's focus now. It's the second lap, so the car is now working better and better.
Come on.
If that lap would have
Second
been...
to last corner went into the run out there. Pretty sure the pace was really good until then. Damn it! Yeah, so despite that, it was a 42.9.
Oh!
Wow.
Yannik is getting there.
So it's
Telling
gonna
you,
be
we're
hard.
winning that top split of the 6 hour in August.
Yeah, that will be then the interesting part. Seeing our performance then versus now. It will be a big difference, I would say, if we just practice a bit more. Yeah, that was horrible, and that was due to the talking. So I'm silent now for 1 or 2 laps. Bear with me.
Alright guys, I'll take the quiet moment to say bye. Thanks so much for taking the time, and looking forward to the next one.
Thank you very much, Max, and don't forget to turn off your webcam stream.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great talking to you. I'm pretty sure that we will see each other at some point this year, be it our Gamescom community event or yeah, as you are so close.
Definitely. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, just reach out to us, and either comments or directly via email, and it's all on the website. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Max, and have a nice rest of the week.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you, man. Take care. Bye.
Take care, bye.
0-0.
Yeah, very, very helpful, very nice. And I will now put all the knowledge into this lab. Oh yeah, way better here. Not using all of the track, but at least... But the Ferrari drives really nice.
It does, yeah. I mean, there's a reason why pretty much everyone uses it online, I suppose. But that could be actually the reason for that.
Ah,
Also,
this
it looks
corner!
cool, so that helps.
Yeah, it looks super good. Man, this corner, I just can't, Yannick.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah, I can't even. I literally can't
No.
even.
This triple right-hander, I have to practice way more. At one point, I know that it will make click, and then it's like, hey, why did you even struggle with that? But until then,
4.9.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think I lost about 3/10 or something with that excursion at the penultimate corner. Let's see if I can actually put together a lap where that doesn't happen.
Ah. And then sometimes, when you don't think too much and you are just driving, because everything looks the same here, sometimes you are in this corner where you think like, ah, yeah, this is this exit, and then like, oh no.
Yeah, it's dangerous sometimes.
It's
that's
the other
true.
one. Oh, I was not yet in this corner, like this kind of moment. So for example here, this is the exact same left-hander and everything looks the same as in the left-hander before, like in the slow left-handers. But they are indeed different. Oh. Again and again and again. Ah.
Oh, screwed it up again. Damn it. That's
I
when you get
never-
too greedy.
I never have such a problem with a corner like this one. I don't know what's going on. I just don't get it still.
Two more laps probably. Let's make it happen here.
Yeah. Yeah, corner 2 is also still problematic. This one's getting better. Okay, this is the tighter one. Yeah. And the next one is the open one. Keep on the inside. On throttle. Little brake impulse. On throttle again. Take it tight and be on throttle. Yeah, better. And now we come to our beloved triple right-hander. Too far. Yeah, I was too wide on the outside. That's still a massive improvement. I mean, at least the track is pretty flat. Like, there's not a lot of downhill stuff. And off.
Yeah,
Flat
hardly any
44.
elevation change.
Yeah, no elevation changes. Flat 44.
Oh. Alright, final lap for me, probably.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, you could argue that, for example, Portimao is a way harder track. For me, not. For me, this is way
Yeah.
more difficult. Okay, you shouldn't push so much that you hit the curbs on the outside on this exit. Yes! It finally clicked, I think, Yannick.
For all these years.
Ah! No, man! Final turn! Ah!
Messed it up in the final
Yeah,
turn
yeah,
again.
yeah.
Ah, man.
Ah, I have one more.
No, come on. Yeah, okay, good. I was about to invalidate my lap. Yep. Lap done, 42.661 is my best now. Boy, am I sweaty. 40 mile may be hard, but it's definitely nicer than Qatar. Yeah, no matter, I do agree. It's also very technical, but just in general, I think a little bit nicer to drive.
Qatar's more annoying, yeah.
Yeah, although I gotta say,
Bahrain,
now,
sorry.
yeah, fair. Although I gotta say, now that we've done a bunch of laps here, the thing that Max was mentioning earlier does hold true. It gets much better once you actually figure out where the hell to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is yeah, should be an interesting driver swap event as a result then. Because yeah, right now I finally found the confidence to push in some corners and know what I'm doing, right? So that definitely helps a ton. So yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of giving a track a proper try to kind of appreciate it for what it is. I had that in... Oh dear. Unless, you know, these noises happen. I had that happen with Paul Ricard, for instance. In ACC, had a league race there, hated the track before, but afterwards, yeah, I figured it... I think it gets more hate than it deserves just because it just looks like a giant parking lot, which I agree isn't great, but the track layout itself isn't bad at all, I don't think. So, yeah, maybe, you know, plant some grass there at some point. I don't know.
So you are still 1 second quicker, but it also means that we have the same kind of progress in our training right now,
Yeah, nice.
which is a good thing. Let's look at the data one more time. So let's also see
Yes,
how much time
sir.
I found then. Quit LMU for now, so it can progress also the. I just hit the outro. We are not gone yet.
Whoops.
we are still here. Portimao may be hard, but it's definitely nicer than Qatar. Yeah, yeah. I think Qatar is by far not the worst track. It's like in the last stint now, I kind of enjoyed it. Even I started to enjoy it. It was just a bit, yeah. So from like each session, I improved 1 second, and I think that's a great achievement for just 1 hour of practice. That's not too
Yeah, I'd
bad.
say so.
Yeah.
I started out with a 46 flat. I think that was the pre-stream installation lap. And compared to the first session we did, the first of the 3, I actually improved by 2.2-ish seconds.
Mhm. I'll
Which is
use
substantial.
I'll use the Hymo lab again for reference. And now it turns out I have a new focus zone that I have to look into, and that is exactly the one that I was looking into while doing the labs. Segment 6, where you come out of this like super slow right-hander and then accelerating into the. I can only guess that you might be able to take more curb and more track limits. I'm pretty sure that I haven't maximized all the track limits yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. I found that in the triple right-hander, you can cut the first and second curb quite considerably.
Yeah.
On the inside, that is. The third one, not so much. That will compromise your exit. Yeah, that was a bit of a revelation when trying to become faster through there.
Mm. And otherwise, it's at least compared to the esports driver lab, I just lose a little bit here and there in almost all of the corners. Corner 8 actually, or segment 8 is actually my strongest, or one of my strongest ones. But it's also a fairly easy one. It's just this like super quick left-hander before you go into the final turn. It's kinda straightforward.
I see that you can actually go way off the track in the middle part of the triple right-hander. Have you checked that out yet?
You have a lab somewhere that I can watch?
I shared my latest session, yes. But if I'm looking at that, my line is pretty much on the white line of the track in the middle part.
Yeah.
So after the first apex, and the teal dot, so the Hymo reference lap, that's like probably in game like 2 meters next to my car. So they're having a way less severe final right-hander.
Yeah. I see.
Interesting that that's actually possible. Good to know.
Because
Just
funnily,
yeah.
I am now quicker in the triple right-hander, but slower in all of the rest of the track than you.
Huh. That's
So
weird.
I gave you 0.2 of a second now in the triple right-hander.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that.
So-
No, but what's really good to see on my lap here is that the sector or the segment differences have gone down so much, except for segment number 7, which is 0.755 that I'm still missing. All the others, the maximum I'm slower than the reference lap is 0.2 of a second, which looked very different at the start of this stream. So it does help quite a ton, actually. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you guys also struggle here with Lusail International Circuit, the latest addition to Le Mans Ultimate, and also this week in the dailies, yeah, I will probably, if I have some time towards the end of the week and the weekend, maybe I will also pull off another live stream where I run the Lusail dailies. And I think also when you have like the baseline of your lap time and you are kind of getting to it, It also helps just racing, because during racing, especially following some of the faster guys, you learn also a lot of stuff. Also during the actual driving, then, and sometimes you also have an easier time to develop your flow when there's cars driving around you. That's also something that I learned. So yeah. But I think I have identified still my weak spots that are, segment 6 and segment 7. I got way better in segment 3, even though I still lose a ton of time in first lap as well, first corner. So it's just, braking too early, it seems. Is it? Yeah, braking too early. Ah, yeah, and braking technique. I think I am braking this car a little bit too much like a LMGT3 still. So this is a perfect example of braking in hypercars. You want this plateau where you are 100% on the brake. You don't want to start trail braking immediately after you hit 100%. And I didn't even hit 100%. I only hit a 98.5, which is fine, I guess. That's not the issue, but then I should stay a little bit longer on the peak braking pressure and then start gradually. It's really, really helpful to see how people operate the brake and throttle that are way quicker than you are. But here you can also see I can also see a big difference here in the apex. So you have to go. Yeah, that's what Max said all the time. I'm aiming for the apexes too late. And you can see that here perfectly. Like the Hymo driver, the pro driver, he was steering towards the apex way earlier. Like we can even zoom in a little bit to see how he did it here. So this is where he opens, like he starts to steer in. And then also being like in this first moment before he, like, you can see his perfect execution of the brake and steering. Like he is still on 100% brake, and the moment he's starting to trail brake, he's also starting to aim for that apex with the steering. And this is almost like a perfect corner that he took here. Let's look at the throttle as well. Throttle application. That's where I'm not even bad. Like you can see I'm still like, I have this moment of like he did the same actually. Like the moment where you stabilize the rear a little bit, or you kind of rotate the car with going off the throttle for a little moment. If you feel like, okay, my car needs more rotation, you just lift the throttle a little bit, and this is what the pro driver also did. I did it to a higher extent, so his execution is way more perfect. But you can see that the corner exit and throttle application is not my problem, or not the biggest problem. It's more about hitting those plateaus in the braking, and then also getting into the apex. And that's areas of improvement that are doable. Yeah, it's not impossible, and that's a good sign.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing in this. The reference lap time, or the ideal lap time it suggests to you might seem pretty improbable, to put it mildly, at first. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm only 1.7 seconds off of that. And I'm pretty sure that if I, continued for the next few days to work on this, I could get at least in the ballpark to be somewhat close to that.
Yeah, actually, I compare our braking now in turn 1, and yours is way closer to the pro driver already. Like you built this plateau. The pro driver he braked 100%, which is quite interesting. Wow. But that maybe is due to our setup, because we had the safe setup where we don't have the 100% brake pressure. So we had 39%. Maybe. So maybe we can't even reach to a 100 in game. That's maybe the thing. Maybe we should try the esports setup next time. Or mixture of both.
Frustrated too. We just not everywhere.
It will be harder to operate probably. But yeah, that's also cool to see here that Yannik has this plateau braking technique already for the hypercar, which is the right thing to do. And on throttle again, pretty similar-ish kind of. I was later on the brake and earlier on the throttle. and then had to correct it a little bit more. So Yannick had a way cleaner execution in turn 1. It's also nice to see. Good job, Yannick. Not bad.
Thank you, thank you. But same to you. I mean, we both improved quite substantially throughout this. How long are we doing? Have we been doing this now?
Yeah,
Almost 2 hours.
Our net driving time was just below. If you count out also the out laps and stuff, it was below 1 hour.
Fair, yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think
point,
that
actually.
like this is the message basically of this live stream, that this data-driven approach sometimes, if that's your thing, I know that's not everyone's taste, but it can really help.
Yeah, for sure. I
And
mean,
it's-
of course, it's you're required to be at a certain level. So if you're still learning the basics of sim racing, of course, it can also help, I think.
Yeah.
But you're probably not get into this mode of, you know, how can I find, I don't know, a second maybe or something, or how can I improve in this certain sector, but more like your general sim racing toolkit, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your base techniques and everything. But yeah, I'm sure it can help with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's also fun to do it together. Kind of, I see that, like comparing your own weaknesses with the strengths of your colleague. I think that's also a fun part. Not doing it. You can also do it well on your own. That also absolutely works. But it's with the most things. Yeah? If you tackle things together, it kind of doubles the fun of it.
Yeah, I think maybe we should just do that for a few of the next upcoming LMU Masters sessions,
Yeah.
if time allows for that. You know, a nice little preview, like a teaser stream to whet the appetite for the next day or something.
Yeah, and we just keep that in mind now, because we will live stream and take part in the endurance event in Lusail, 1st of August. So that's 2 weeks from now. And I will absolutely continue also this week when we have the actual race experience then in the dailies. So I will run a few of these, and I will see how I will stabilize my lap times and my knowledge for Lusail. And then we will put it to the test in 1st of August. In the endurance event. So yeah, join us for future live streams. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to visit OverTake GG. Check out the premium membership that has this feature here, OverTake Turbo, and you saw how helpful it can be if you want to improve your driving in titles like LMU, iRacing, Assetto Corsa Competizione, and so on. Yeah, Air and Race also said, yeah, he never heard of Track Titan before, going to give it a go now. Yeah, I think like the base functionality, even with the most affordable membership, which probably would be also... Yeah, there's also a free membership. So you can create an account for free, and I think you can also get a few sessions recorded and analyzed and stuff. So the base function, it's just limited, I think, to a point. Let's actually check that on the Track Titan website. Track Titan. So that we can give you the correct information here also about the membership. So here it is, the membership. So you can record 50 laps per month across all games, and that's already unlimited data analysis and AI driving tips. So the stuff that we did here pretty much today is free, for 50 laps. That's the only limitation, but that's, I think, enough. We haven't done 50 laps today, that's for sure. So yeah, that's the Track Titan standard memberships. And as I said, on Overtake, you can become premium member, and then you get basically a mixture of plus and premium. So where is... No, actually, Ultra has the esports setups. And in Overtake Turbo, you get one esports setup per month. So that's a good mixture of the more expensive tiers. But with also unlimited laps. So Overtake Turbo is a way better choice than Plus. because Overtake Premium is 12 euros per year. And you have Track Titan then basically Track Titan plus even esports setups. So that's how generous Track Titan was in the partnership here on our website or with Overtake. So yeah, cool stuff. Yeah, that's it. Any questions, guys? Any things that we missed out on, Yannick? No, right?
I think we covered it all. Yeah. So let's get back to getting even faster now.
Absolutely, yeah. yeah, let's practice more for the big event then in 2 weeks. And
Yeah, I mean,
that's
luckily we still have two weeks of time. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much exactly 2 weeks almost. So yeah, looking forward to actually doing this then.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron Race. Check it out. Good choice. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day and week, and have a nice weekend as well with your sim racing and real life plans. And we'll see you. We'll see you in the next one. Maybe I heard something in the background. We prepare something also for the weekend to have a little special live stream. But yeah, I will let you know, guys. You will see it on our socials. So not only make sure to watch to check out OverTake GG, but also our socials like Instagram. We are even on TikTok with our reels and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you guys for supporting us with all these things. And see you next time. Also, Yannik.
Yep, you too. Thanks
Bye.
everyone for tuning in. Bye.